Yeah. Cinema Classics is sponsored by the Gateway Film Center and is produced by John DeSando and Johnny DiLoretto. Listen to shows online at wcbe.org. I'm John DeSando.
I'm Johnny DiLoretto.
This is Cinema Classics.
We didn't do that for double take, by the way. Did you do that?
We did.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm John DeSando.
I'm Johnny DiLoretto.
This is Double Take.
Indeed it is.
Gucci versus Ghost.
Yeah.
Does that make sense to you?
You know what? It makes total sense, because when people are like, what are they talking about Ghostbusters, Afterlife, and House of Gucci for? It's because one of them is one of the worst movies of the year, and one of them is one of the best movies of the year. So
Let me
essentially
see.
what we're doing is comparing and contrasting a piece of crap with a shiny piece of cinematic gold.
And you're not always right. And I think you're wrong about this one, because I loved Ghostbusters.
You did?
I did. And
Were
see,
you-
See, I know you well enough to know
Are
which
you
one
infirm?
you liked and which one you didn't like.
What's the
You-
matter with you?
And you
Who
didn't
did
like
see Who did
Ghostbusters
you see this with?
because you're comparing it with the original, and you shouldn't do that.
I'm not comparing it with the original. I'm comparing it. Well, okay.
Yes. All right.
First of all,
Yes.
I'm not comparing it with the original, but you can't call something Ghostbusters and not conjure up the feelings of the original and what made the original work and what made this one sputter, die, and writhe around on the floor.
So, first of all, I love Paul Rudd. I love the kids in this new Ghostbusters. And I'll tell you why. I think the original Ghostbusters is so iconic.
Mhm.
It's only because of those actors.
Right.
I mean, they lend everything. Bill
Listen,
Murray, Harold
The first
Ramis.
movie, I'm gonna ask you this, and I'm sure you're not gonna know the answer.
All right.
Do you remember how the original Ghostbusters opens?
No, of
Remember the
course
opening?
not. You
Of course
remember
you
that
don't.
kind of
Of course
stuff.
you don't. Well, I do.
All right.
And it opens with Bill Murray giving these two college kids a psychological test, like an ESP test. And he is, when the guy gets the wrong questions, the answer's wrong, he holds up a card and they're supposed to guess. He electrocutes the guy, and no matter when the pretty girl answers correctly or not, he doesn't. Now,
That is good.
number one, it establishes the movie you're seeing as a comedy. Number two, it establishes the movie you're seeing as an irreverent comedy. Number three, it establishes the movie you're seeing as an irreverent Bill Murray comedy, who here is a character we're trying to figure out. He's shocking this guy. Do we like him? What's going on here? It gets us off balance right away, but very quickly we're in this world. We're in an urban world where ghosts exist, and Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, Harold Ramis, and Ernie Hudson are catching ghosts. And that is lightning in a bottle, and this is protracted, torturous nonsense. I've never seen Carrie Coon embarrass herself the way she does here.
I thought
These
she was.
kids are like,
I thought she
cares?
was just
I
right.
don't care, and it's so obvious that they're in a rural setting because they're trying to save money on the budget because they can't close down a city street for 5 minutes. This is awful. It's embarrassing.
Oh my! All right.
It's such a cash grab. Let me walk you through Ghostbusters.
Oh
Afterlife.
God, no!
What is this crap? This sucks. This sucks.
Don't,
This is crap.
don't.
This sucks. Oh, a ghost trap. Cool. Oh, this sucks. This still sucks. Oh, the Ecto-1. Cool. This sucks. This is crap. Oh, a proton pack. Cool. They're just trotting out these things.
But you know, they had to make references to the original, and I appreciated they're not going
They have
over
to
the
do
top
it
and doing that.
in such a
You got a little ghost trap.
Yeah.
This is cute.
It is.
And it
That's
comes
all
from
it
that.
is. That's all it is.
But I thought in trying to compete with the original characters, they did it much better by emphasizing now the kids, and that by bringing in the sexiest man in the world, Paul Rudd.
You don't think that the sexiest man in the world title is conveniently announced right around the time of the release of this
Oh,
movie?
we know that. It's all
Yeah.
showbiz. I know
It's,
that. And I love it.
nonsense.
I'm a sucker for every bit of that. But I also do like Rudd's slow burn. I think it works very well here. And I like the romance between him and Coon. I
Yeah.
think there's something about that that works for me. First of all, she's not in this role attractive much at all. but there is something about her.
She's a petulant 14-year-old who's she's supposed to be the mother of these children, but she's really just a whining.
That reminds me,
teen.
right, the nerdy little 12-year-old is
I like that
just
girl.
wonderful.
Yeah,
Just
that girl was really great.
Yeah.
The
She dominates over the kid from Stranger Things, which
yeah.
Franca would
No,
know.
that kid was great, and her little counterpart podcasting kid.
podcast.
He was very
If you're
charming.
gonna have a charming
But
little kid,
You don't
that's
see
great.
that also as a very calculated
Well,
kind of addition.
Jesus, we're calculated. I mean, we're all.
This
we're
is
in
not
entertainment.
calculated.
We're all.
This ramshackle
No,
operation
no.
with your cardboard
well,
thing and your
what
chalkboard,
we have here
this phone
is a
counting down. This is not calculated.
This is a disagreement, which we know is very good for our show. The
This
problem
happens
is,
rarely. This happens
Now,
rarely.
and it happens rarely because we both have to have very high taste in movies, and we're gonna go to and we pick movies that we like usually. So, but let's
Most movies have something going for them that you can point to as here.
All right,
I like
You're
this about
impossible.
it.
You're impossible.
This
we need
movie
to go.
was
We need to go to Italy.
execrable.
Uh-huh.
Execrable.
Let's exit. Let's get on a scooter.
Okay.
And let's bring
Is it a
Summer
Vespa?
Marie.
Because
I'm
if it's,
sorry, I have
if
my
it's
own
the
scooter. You have-
simulacra of a Vespa, I don't want to be on it. It's going to fly apart in 2 seconds.
But anyway,
Yeah.
so House of Gucci.
One of the
No.
best movies of the year. The
And you know,
opposite.
we happen to agree, and there are people who don't like it. Where are they
I
from?
don't know. This is interesting. Ghostbusters Afterlife was a much shorter movie, maybe half the runtime of this movie, and it felt like I was losing years of my life. Like I
you were
was
in the afterlife.
like I was in an iron lung. That's what it felt like watching that movie. This movie, it just flies by. It's such a delight. It's an old school entertainment, big star persona.
Oh, listen. Why do you think my buddy Barry loves this? He loves the opera.
Yeah. and
This is opera light,
This is yes for sure.
or soap opera light.
Mhm.
I mean, this is just from Jeremy Irons
Yeah.
all the way through. Is just, I thought, terrific characters,
Jeremy
actors.
Irons, Al Pacino,
Oh,
Jared Leto.
oh, yes.
And major star performances from Adam Driver and especially Lady Gaga.
Yes, and I'm looking at her again and saying, she is really an amazing performer. And this, she underplayed this as far as I'm concerned and did it beautifully.
Yeah,
I
she
mean-
was. There's a strange tone to this movie. It is sort of soap opera-esque
Sure.
and a little opera light and campy at times, but also dramatically sound. It's a really sort of a tonal high wire act, and I thought that Ridley Scott is one of his best movies. I think.
Yes, and who would have thought? I mean, here's a guy who does dark, action-packed stuff.
Mhm.
Last Duel being the recent film.
Yeah, I mean he's got 2 great movies in 1 year.
But a completely different. This requires, by contrast, a great deal of subtlety on his part. If you don't like anything we're saying, go for the fashion. I mean, this is the House of Gucci.
Yeah.
You should see how these people are decked out.
Yeah, you got these nice 70s and
Ooh.
80s outfits,
Ooh.
big collars,
Oh,
peak lapels,
I know.
garish,
Yes.
skin-tight outfits.
And I'll tell you, the turn that Lady Gaga does as a character when she becomes the true femme fatale of all of this is, I think, one of the most beautiful transitions I've ever seen.
Yeah.
They don't move her precipitously. They move her very gently to becoming the ambitious.
Right. And this is, I think, the key to the movie's success, is she does not start out as a Machiavellian character.
No, she does not.
She
Exactly.
doesn't start out with nefarious intentions.
Yes.
She arrives at them later.
Yeah.
And then I think that's why ultimately you kind of side with her. You want her to, like you might root for James Cagney, when he was a gangster.
Oh, yes, right, yeah.
You do for her.
And so, I would recommend Ghostbusters,
Mhm.
and we would both recommend Gucci.
Yeah. I would recommend you avoid Ghostbusters at all costs.
Not when you can sit in a theater with your fellow Americans and have them eat popcorn next to you.
Mm,
How could you miss that?
That's really tempting.